Right, things have been a bit strange today. Do you remember I told you about Quim, the foreign boy that told me about Miss Dalek? Well, he's sort of like the only person that I kind of know here yet so far. So when I saw him going down to the shops with his other friends, I thought I'd follow them. I get quite bored just sitting here waiting for Numpty the Knowledgeable, the constant being, to find me, so I thought it would be nice to get out for a bit. And I knew he could see me hunkering down behind the hobnobs, because I heard him say, "What is the freak doing?" I've never had a nickname before. I don't think I've ever known anyone well enough to have a nickname. But Quim definitely called me Freak. And the rest of them knew who he was talking about. And I thought, I like this. I didn't want to tell them that they weren't old enough to buy cigarettes. And besides, I thought the shopkeep would do that anyway. But he didn't bat an eyelid. He just sold them all cigarettes. So when we got outside, I said to Quim, "You're not old enough to smoke." And he said, "No, but you are old enough to burn." And he started flicking lighted matches at me. "Burn the freak!" Nicknames are great. They all looked, to my eyes, pretty stupid with these burning things hanging out of their mouths. But when you've got friends, you don't want to upset them, so I didn't tell them that. Instead, I told them what Dad used to say about people that smoked. Do you remember? "They're fucking stupid," he'd say. Stupid. That made them laugh. Fucking stupid. And burn me a bit more. It was all very funny. But when I got back to school, I was called into Mr. Leck's office. Apparently, he'd been driving past the shop in his cripple wagon and had seen me smoking. I said I wasn't smoking. Quim and his friends were smoking. Other friends were smoking, but this friend wasn't smoking. And Mr. Leck said that Quim and his friends would never smoke because they were all fine athletes and knew better. And I said that I would never smoke because I knew it was fucking stupid. That's when he clipped me round the ear and gave me another detention and said, "Well, it doesn't matter anyway. You didn't have permission to be off the school campus." And then he said, "Now I know how much you've been looking forward to this disco party, but I'm afraid after this, I have to tell you, you will not be going." I've never been to a disco party. Not a real one. With girls. I don't think Mr. Leck likes me. I didn't want him to see me crying, so I ran off and hid in the toilets, which is where Matron just found me. And she could see that I wasn't crying because I'd wet myself this time. Incidentally, I have managed to go to the toilet properly 4 times here now, twice on my own. And you know how I get in strange places, so I must be settling in. Anyway, Matron demanded to know why I was crying, lest she beat me. So I told her about Mr. Leck and not letting me go to the disco party and how I'd never been to a disco party before, not with real live girls, and she was not best pleased, and she said things like, "And who does he expect to stay here and look after you? And there's no way I'm going to stay in. He knows..." Oh, this is all because I've got a date. And then she said, "Don't worry, you will go to that disco, because I am going on that date. He will do what I say. Just trust me on this." And then she went off muttering things like, "Oh, this is the last time. If he doesn't let me get on with my life, I'm going to reveal everything." So tomorrow morning, Mr. Leck is going to have to tell me that I can go to the disco party. I am really looking forward to him having to change his mind. He didn't wait for morning to have that little chat with me. And he wasn't too chuffed that I was using my computer after lights out. Or as he put it, that I'd gone squeal into that bitch of a fucking matron. So I spent most of last night cleaning the toilets again. Only this time Mr. Leck stood over me and beat me with a metal rule, which there's no need for really, as I'm actually getting quite good at it. Anyway, the disco party is back on, and that is the most important thing. As for my battle with the Daleks and my continuing search for Numpty the Knowledgeable, the Constant Being, I had a rather strange turn of events this week, which I think has put me a step closer. And I caught Mrs. Wilkes, the school librarian, looking at me in a strange way. Like this. I thought she may be trying to communicate with me in some advanced way, so I tried to replicate it. What I didn't realise is that she looks at everyone like that because she was born with 3 less vertebrae than anyone else. What she didn't realise is that I can't do a detention on Wednesdays. All my Wednesdays are taken up for Mr. Lex detentions, some of which are for things I haven't even done wrong yet. Silly woman. She did realise that all my Wednesdays are taken up by Mr. Lex detentions. That is why she made me a librarian. I wondered about that. And that was when I saw the price in some of the book sleeves. And I thought to myself, now here's a way I can raise some money. So I've sold 6 of them to the local bookshop. The best thing is that even after placing my advert in the paper, I've still got some money left over. Well, she'll have to find these messages sooner or later. Yeah, I expect that's what they said about the Dead Sea Scrolls.